Let's check in with Turning Point's White House correspondent Monica Paige at the White House. Monica, busy day as always. I let's start with dessert today. The kind of just fun stuff. I think we all saw videos earlier this morning of President Trump is on the roof. And what was going on there?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned this, Jobob, because we were all kind of being pushed into the briefing room. If you were already in the briefing room, then you had to stay there for a little bit. But those of us who were outside got to see the president walking along this little area right here to where I'm pointing to. This is right above the press briefing room.
Huh.
And he just walked out with a couple of security members and maybe some members of this administration and comms team. And he was just surveying the roof from what we understood. And then we had some of us yelling up at him, "Hey, what are you doing up there? What's going on?" And he was saying, "I'm just checking out the roof. I think I'm going to be working on something in particular. Perhaps many people are speculating that it could be a hallway being built above the press briefing room to match the one on the east wing side." Which is going to match the ballroom that's going to be constructed next month. But we were a little bit confused. But hey, it's never a dull moment here at the White House. You'll never know where the president is going to be at any given moment. There were times just a couple months ago, he was out here on the north lawn before the big, beautiful flagpole was out here just surveying the land. Next thing you know, he's up here on the roof shouting down at us, the reporters. It was such a funny moment, but there will never be another president like President Trump.
I think you kind of answered my question, but like, is there do we know anything about when he does this sort of stuff, or are you just like sitting there, reading the news, going through your phone, and oh, there's the president on the roof? Is that what it's like?
That it is exactly that, Joe Bob. We literally had no idea this was happening today. It could be like a slow Tuesday, slow Wednesday, and all of a sudden the president could just come right out of here at the Oval Office and say, "This is what I'm doing," and everyone bum rushes the West Wing and says, "Oh, Mr. President, Mr. President." It's hysterical, and it's pretty funny to watch some of the legacy outlets just start swarming because I just can't get enough of the president. But it's kind of ironic, but it's always such a fun moment here at the White
Yeah,
House.
he's doing his best to make sure those lib media outlets have their ratings, because that's all they cover is what is the president doing and why.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee you we're going to see a Vox headline: "Why standing on roofs is racist," or something stupid like that. Speaking of things the president is doing, he's signing an executive order aimed at some of the big banks out there. What's happening on that front?
Yep, big banks like Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase are pretty much at the forefront of this executive order. The president is essentially signing this order to punish these big banks for terminating the accounts of their clients. And it may be politically driven. There's a couple of people that I was looking up doing some research into this executive order. There's somebody by the name of Dr. Joseph Mercola, who's a businessman. He claims that Chase canceled multiple bank accounts of his after speaking out about the COVID vaccine and his criticism of the COVID vaccine. Heritage Foundation has found that these banks have threatened crypto investors or innovators, trying to threaten them out of the space because they don't like them there. And this was under the Biden administration. This was the SEC under the former administration. But essentially, the president had an interview this morning on, I believe, the Squawk Box on CNBC or CMSNBC, where he basically said that these bank accounts came after him as well in the 2020 election. They
Hmm.
threatened President Trump. They said, "Hey, listen, you have 20 days or we're going to terminate your account." First Lady Melania Trump said that she was at risk of having her bank account terminated. Her son Barron had trouble opening up a brand new bank account. This has kind of been an ongoing problem here, and the president is putting an end to it. So if you are found liable of punishing your clients and terminating their bank accounts, you could be liable to punishment, financial punishments, any sort of kind of financial issues there.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens moving forward. I don't know if there's going to be an investigation into these banks, but we've heard from Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase, and they've said, "Hey, listen, we don't do this." So I don't know. I mean, clearly something's wrong, but we don't do this. But the president has been talking about this for quite some time, even on the campaign trail. So he's hitting back at these banks today.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those, hey, if you're not doing it, then this shouldn't be a problem then. And,
Right.
hopefully anything that is happening on the political front and closing people's bank accounts gets taken care of or nipped in the bud, thanks to this EO. Monica Page, Turning Point's White House correspondent, not on the roof, but maybe we'll see her there in the future. No one knows. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.